It's 2 a.m. You are jolted awake, not by an alarm, but by a heavy, rhythmic knocking echoing down a dark, silent hallway. Your heart pounds, and your immediate instinct might jump straight to the paranormal, a ghost, a spirit, something unnatural inside the house. But science offers a reassuring answer. When constructed, the earth beneath a house bears millions of pounds of weight. Over the years, that immense downward pressure causes the foundation to slowly shift, creating loud, echoing pops in the dead of night. Then there is the weather. When the sun goes down and nighttime temperatures drop, the wooden beams and metal frames holding your roof physically contract. Add in fluctuating humidity levels, which warp those building materials, and you get distinct, creepy crackling sounds that seem to crawl across your floorboards. Even those disembodied gurgles and clanks have a completely rational source: trapped air moving through your hidden underground water pipes, or minor blockages in the HVAC system kicking on while you sleep. It all makes perfect sense. The structural science puts you right back to sleep. But what happens when you check the pipes, inspect the concrete, and find absolutely nothing wrong? We rely on these real estate explanations as a psychological coping mechanism. We diagnose the house because it is easier than facing the possibility we are sharing our physical space with entities we cannot see. In Islamic tradition, that unseen presence has a name: the Jinn. Theology states that long before humanity, a parallel society was forged entirely from smokeless fire. They occupy the exact same physical world we do. Most of the time, they ignore us. But if a human accidentally destroys their unseen habitat by pouring hot water down a drain or throwing a stone into a dark crevice, it can trigger a violent, invisible retaliation. According to jurisprudential texts, malevolent jinn are drawn to humans for specific reasons. This document details how magicians enlist these entities to inflict harm and describes possession born of supernatural desire, guarding a chosen vessel. When this boundary is crossed, scholars classify the resulting possession into two distinct categories, scaling from external manipulation to a complete internal hijacking. The first is lams al-jinn, or external possession. Here, the entity does not enter the body, but physically touches the victim. This results in waking nightmares, extreme unexplained fatigue, and sudden partial paralysis, where a limb simply stops working despite zero clinical medical issues. The second, far more severe form is tams al-jinn, total internal possession. The entity fully enters the human body and completely overrides the host's reasoning. The victim experiences violent seizures, total memory loss, and erratic behavior as the jinn literally takes control of their actions. In this framework, possession is a highly targeted, symptomatic spiritual disease. Its ultimate goal is to strip away human free will and commandeer bodily autonomy. To understand how seriously this threat is taken, we have to look at the physical remnants of these encounters. In northern Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, sits the massive Irka Hospital, a decaying concrete monolith. The facility had been defunct since 2001. Over a decade of rotting in the desert sun transformed it into one of the country's most infamous sites, widely rumored to be an active hive for the supernatural. In May 2012, a group of 30 young men decided to test the lore. Treating the location like a playground, they broke into the dark ruins for an organized event to hunt down the entities inside. The unseen forces struck back. Those inside reported blinding, mysterious lights flashing through empty wards, disembodied sounds, and a wave of inexplicable chaos that drove the trespassers into a complete panic. The situation rapidly escalated into violence, and a massive fire broke out inside the hospital. It required the immediate intervention of heavily armed police units and the Saudi Civil Defense to extinguish the blaze and pull the terrified men out of the wreckage. The siege of Irka Hospital left 60% of the building destroyed. It stands as a physical testament to a core tenet of the lore. Treating the jinn as a myth or a weekend game invites real-world destruction. You don't have to break into an abandoned hospital to cross their path. Right now, in your own home, you are likely sharing the same living spaces, the same air, and even the same meals with these unseen neighbors. This daily proximity carries subtle dangers. A lingering jinn can strike a human with a supernatural evil eye, or silently manipulate unprotected thoughts, feeding on intense emotional states like excessive fear or sudden anger. Because the threat is spiritual, the defense must be as well. Islamic scholars have documented strict protocols to break these supernatural attachments. For active internal possession, the primary cure is ruqya therapy, a rigorous recitation of Quranic verses, functioning as targeted spiritual medicine to force the entity out. But beyond the rituals, the ultimate shield is absolute mental fortitude. By rejecting excessive fear and maintaining a strong, calm presence, you deny these entities the psychological cracks they need to enter in the first place. So the next time your house creaks at 2 a.m. and you hear a faint tapping in the walls, you can tell yourself it's just the pipes. You can blame the foundation settling. But in the pitch black, you can never be entirely sure you're alone.